You ever feel like your brain is juggling 47 browser tabs, only none of them are actually loading? That's what it's like trying to stay focused as an affiliate manager between answering affiliate questions and navigating fast changing platforms, staying on top of launches, replying to Slack messages at all hours. Staying focused can feel impossible. And regaining it once you've lost it, it's even harder. In this episode, I'm bringing you a behind the scenes recording of a private training I did for a mastermind group, all about how to get focused, stay focused, and bounce back when your focus gets derailed. Whether you're managing dozens of affiliates or thousands of affiliates, or just trying to keep your own business on track, these strategies will help you get more done with less stress. If you're ready to take your affiliate program and your business to the next level, well, you're in the right place. I'm Matt McWilliams, best-selling author and 4-time Affiliate Manager of the Year, and I've built dozens of affiliate programs from the ground up to over $1 million a month. I'm here to show you how you can do it too. Let's get started. So today I'm talking about something that I think just about every affiliate manager struggles with: how to get focused. And once you get focused, how to stay focused. And then once, when things inevitably go off the rails, once you get unfocused, how to regain focus. And let's be honest, in the world of affiliate management, distractions are not the exception. They're the norm. In fact, that's really true of every profession these days. Distractions are the norm. You got messages flying in, you've got affiliate questions piling up, you got random tech issues popping up, you got, somewhere in there you're supposed to strategize and lead a big launch or a day-to-day affiliate program. And it's just a lot. I was talking with one of our affiliate managers, one of our team members recently about this. And even under normal circumstances, staying focused is hard. But in affiliate management, when you're constantly being pulled in different directions, especially if you have clients, and you get this, it's almost like an Olympic sport. It's trying to get focused and stay focused and regain it when you lose it. And that's what this episode is all about. It's a behind the scenes training I actually did a while back for a mastermind group. And I'm joined by my friend Alan Thomas on this. And I wanted to share it with you because honestly, it's some of the most practical advice I've ever given on managing your mental bandwidth as an affiliate manager. Now, real quick, a heads up. We did have a bit of an audio hiccup toward the end of this. So you'll notice that my voice changes a bit. I switched device. I went from the microphone I'm actually recording this on now to I think I switched to my phone. And I repeat myself slightly because I didn't know where I left off. So, there was like a 2-minute span there where I was trying to reconnect. You don't have to listen to that. We actually just cut that out. But anyway, I didn't want to scrap that whole section because the content's really valuable. So thanks for bearing with me on that, and hope you enjoy it. And all right, well, let's talk focus. So here's what someone told me recently. I thought this was kind of interesting. They said, some weeks I'm pumped, focused, energetic, and productive. Life is good. I'm mowing down my goals one by one. Then I have a week where it feels like I get nothing done. I have no energy or focus. What do I do? Probably sounds familiar, right? Well, it doesn't have to be that way, okay? Distractions, depressions, what the heck is going on? Why can I not focus? That's a normal part of a productive person's life, especially when you're an entrepreneur. What was it? The song by Tripp and Tyler, hardly working from home. And they say, you try getting something done when you can do anything. There's nobody telling me I have to do anything. I don't even have to show up today for this if I don't want to. I'm not going to get fired. My business is still going to be there tomorrow. You guys might be mad, but it's still going to be here. You're the one who's solely responsible for keeping your eye on your destination. And so today I'm going to show you how to get focused, stay focused, and regain focus. How to get focus. I growing up, I've mentioned this many times, I played competitive golf. And I always knew about the importance of what's called a pre-shot routine. Okay, so this is, the 20 to 30 seconds before you actually hit the ball or hit the putt, right? But I'd never worked on it. It wasn't until college, actually, I got to college, and I made it something that truly set me up to focus on the shot. Right, I had a sports psychologist named Pete Giacobbe. Just I never forget when he called one of the guys on the team and left a message. Pete Giacobbe and his girlfriend left a message for his roommate, and it said, "Peach Cobbler called. I want you to call him back." I'm like,
There you
I don't think they got married.
You went to school in the South, that's for sure.
I went University of Tennessee.
I know, see, I
Um,
knew it. You could tell by the messages.
Never said I went there for an education, but so I started working with a sports psychologist to really help me in this area. We got this routine down probably until I quit playing due to injury. This routine never varied. I mean, I can still remember it to this day. I would stand behind the ball and have the club here, holding like that. I would put my glove on, got my glove on.
Mhm,
I already had my glove on, but then what I would do is I would undo the Velcro and tighten it back. Okay.
mhm,
So you think about Velcro, right? That was what I call a focus trigger. That
mhm,
sound of that Velcro. And then I would visualize the shot. I would see it clearly in my mind. I'm looking, okay,
mhm,
here's my ball. I want to see it doing exactly what I want it to do. Then I walked up to the ball with the club in my right hand, aligned myself, took one last look at the target and swung, right? But that focus trigger to this day, it is it's crazy. The sound of Velcro does something to me, almost like robotic. Have you ever seen the movie The Manchurian Candidate? I think I don't know. I never seen the original version, which I think had Frank Sinatra,
mhm,
but the version with Denzel Washington and Liev Schreiber and Meryl Streep, I
mhm,
think. The guy who kind of looks like Dick Cheney is in there, and then there's this other guy. I can't remember who's in it, but they would call up and the voice would say like, is this Sergeant? They would like Sergeant and then their last name. And then it was like, and then they would say Sergeant, first name and last name, Sergeant, first name, middle name, last name. And
mhm,
instantly, like they would change, they would shift. And
mhm,
that's what happened to me with that sound of Velcro. It's like, I got to focus. I got to focus. Right. And if I hear the sound of Velcro even today, I start picturing myself going through that routine.
mhm,
And the thing is, if I got distracted at any point, like if I was walking up to the ball, I've already gone through it. I'm walking up to the ball, and then a bee comes by. Well, that broke my routine. I would back away, snap the Velcro again, and then I would continue. If my focus was broken, I needed the trigger to refocus, and that's what we want to talk about. It's like if you're going to get focused, you've got to be something that triggers it. You don't just fall into focus most of the time. So today, the trigger for me, my focus trigger, is the sound of very specific music that I play to get me in the state of flow. There's actually only three things that I listen to when I write. There's when I write or do any type of like focus work, right? If I have to focus anything for more than a few seconds, and I need to get into a state of flow for 45 minutes to an hour and a half, like when I was writing my book, Turn Your Passions into Profit, I was writing 45 minutes to 90 minutes every morning for
mhm.
months. I played the exact same song every single time. You can Google it. In fact, I'm going to just Google it with you. It's by the band the XX intro. If you Google XX intro, so literally XX intro 10 hours, you'll find a YouTube video. Maybe Alan can drop that in the chat.
Mhm.
It's a YouTube video that's a 10-hour loop of like a 2-minute song that's basically the same beat just over and over and over and over and over and over. When I'm doing other focus works, that was my writing focus. So to this day, if I need to do creative work, that's the song I play. When I go into monk mode, writing or any type of creation, that's the song I play. I have a song on Spotify that is, let me find it here real quick. It is, it's an alpha, what is it? Alpha or something like that. Not Aloha. Alpha Waves Focus. You guys can, I don't know if you guys can hear this, but it's literally just that. It's 2.5 minutes. I'll put it on a loop and I'll play it for hours and I won't come out of focus. When I hear that, when I hear that song by the XX, when
Mhm.
I hear that song, those are my triggers. And then my other one, when I'm doing focus work that involves things that quite frankly bore me to tears, like spreadsheets, I gotta like look through. I'm doing like some affiliate work, stuff like that. Um, then I allow myself to hear words, that, and I don't have to like be totally zoned in, so I can have kind of something. But I will literally play the same song over and over and over again. By about the third playing, I'm in just like total zone mode. Don't even hear the words.
Hmm.
And I'll change that song up periodically. I've been on the same song for about 6 months now. But it's, I have them on my playlist and I play them. And so the key is to find your focus trigger, right? It might take some time. When I was in college, I tried probably 10 things before we landed on the Velcro. For me, what we discovered with my sports psychologist is I'm more auditory than I am physical. So the cool thing about the Velcro is I never noticed it, but even today, if I'm not looking at the camera, when I do it, if I don't play golf anymore, but if I did, I would look. So now what am I doing when I'm looking, peeling, and refastening? I'm engaging pretty much all of my senses. I'm visually doing it. I'm hearing the sound. I'm physically touching it. I probably didn't smell the glove, but basically I'm engaging most of my senses there, right? And you want to find something that's probably like that. For me, the playing of the song is physical. I'm clicking a play button. You think, oh, that's so simple. Yeah. But when I click the play button, even before the song really even starts, I'm in focus mode. And then I'm hearing it. And to a certain extent, I'm seeing it because I'm clicking, I'm having to see where the mouse is going to click it. Same thing as if I'm playing it on there, I'm doing those things. And so the idea here is to find what works for you. And that's how we landed on that, because I tried some other things that we'll talk about as we go along that might work for you, but it didn't work for me because they weren't engaging that sound. So number one is find a common, but not too common sound. I don't typically hear Velcro peeling throughout the day. Even on the golf course, it's pretty common. I might do it, I hit 35, 36, 37, full shots in a round, hopefully not more than 37. I've played a bad round if I hit more than 37, 32 to 37 of those in a round. So I hear it some, but it's not a common sound. It's not like, some sort of just a common sound, right? So is there an uncommon sound? That song, as much as I play it, outside of the circumstance in which I play it, I have never played that song anywhere other than my computer. I don't do creative work anywhere other than my computer. So it's a pretty unusual sound. I don't listen to that song. I've never once listened to that song when I'm working out. Maybe I should try that actually. I don't listen to that sound when I'm running. I don't listen to that sound when I'm doing the dishes. I don't listen to that sound when I make that song when I'm doing dinner. It's this one sound. And so it's an uncommon sound, but it's a common sound in that it's not something that's too hard to find. So I don't know. It might be, it might even be like as simple as like closing a drawer. I didn't catch this until the other day, but one of my focus triggers that's sort of become a thing is opening and closing the drawer under my monitors sit on basically what amount to small file cabinets. And I only open and close that drawer before a coaching call. It's the only reason why I would ever need to get into that side. Some of my stuff's over here, but on the right side is my journals, my coaching journals for our coaching clients. I only open and close that door that drawer at the very beginning of a coaching call. And it's kind of a subliminal like coaching call time, right? You may have to work through some, different sounds. I don't know. It took a while. We tried different things before we arrived on the Velcro. You could try tap dancing. And I don't mean like, I can't tap dance. But I don't mean that, I need Ben Veneer on right now. But I remember Jimmy White on our team. One of his triggers that he worked out with, because he was more of a physical guy, was he would 3 taps. No, wait. I'm trying to remember how he did it. I'm trying to picture him right now. 1, 2, 1, pause, 1, 2, then 4. So he had a specific beat. Didn't make much of a sound, although it sort of did, but that feeling was like, this is my time to focus. So is there something repetitive? If you watch really good free throw shooters, They go through the same routine every single time. I can still remember mine. Mine was 2 dribbles, pick the ball up, spin it, 2 dribbles, pick it, spin it to where I wanted it, shoot. I mean, I to this day, I would, if I shoot a free throw, I would just subconsciously go through the exact same routine. I haven't shot a free throw in 5 years, but I guarantee you, if I picked it up and you watched me, without missing a beat, it would be 2 dribbles, pick it up, spin it once, 2 dribbles, pick it up and spin it to right where I want it and shoot. Like I was doing it with my eyes closed, right? So that's one. Tap dance. It might be just something repetitive, right? Could be snapping your fingers. You tell me. If you snap your fingers a lot, that's probably too common. Close your eyes. I mentioned that, right? That's an old tried and true method to enter focus land. It does not work for me, but some people, if they just close their eyes for 20 seconds of nothingness, they close their eyes and, it's so typical, but they might do an they might do a sound. They might even, one of my friends does this. I'm not joking. He just, when it depends on what he's getting ready to do. But like if he needs to focus before doing creative work, say writing, he has a mantra. I forget exactly what it is, but he's like, the words are flowing to me and through me and onto the page. The words are flowing to me and through me and onto the page. So I'm messing that up a little bit, but he says it like 5 times and boom, he's in like la la land, focused. The other thing about focus triggers is they're probably right in front of you. They're probably right in front of you. I used to do a lot of classical music. Baroque music would get me into the flow. That stopped working. I don't know why, but when it did, the simple act of pressing the button on what I used back then, which was iTunes, I was good to go, right? Today, if I need to focus and I'm getting ready, like last night, I was at our kids' soccer indoors. It's noisy. There's so many distractions. So I had my earbuds and I pulled it up on my phone because my earbuds don't connect to my my Mac, or they do, but it just goes out. The Bluetooth is really weak on my Mac for some odd reason. I have no idea why. And so I pulled it up on my phone. I pulled open that song by the XX. So I lied. I actually do play it in one other device, and that's my phone when I'm working on my computer. But my point is, I never play it unless I'm working on my computer. And I pulled it up on my phone, and I mean, it was like I started writing at like 5:12. I looked up, and it was like 6:34. I finally had to pee. I mean, I had like the whole world was shut out to me. My point is, it's probably right in front of you. Like it's something right there. It's something on your desk. Don't go looking if it's right there in front of you. And then just practice, and then move on if it doesn't work. Whatever it is, it took me years to find that song by the XX, and I've been on that song for 3-4 years now. About 3. The routine in college. I was a freshman when I started working with Pete. It wasn't until midway through my sophomore year, which ironically was right before I started, really playing really well and was ranked very highly. That's when I figured out my pre-shot routine. That's when I figured out the Velcro. So give it a fair trial. If you're trying something, but if it ain't working, just move on to a new one. Try something different. You're looking for something that might not, it doesn't necessarily have to be like the thing right away. Oh my gosh, I was in focus land, the moment I did it. But like, okay, that might be it. So try it for a few weeks. If it doesn't work, move on. So what is your focus trigger? Let me know. Do you guys have a focus trigger? Maybe you tried one but didn't work. I'm just curious. Do you guys have a focus trigger? Let me know over there. If that's something that you're using. I'm curious who's using that. What about you, Alan? Do you have a focus trigger?
Music. It's I got a soundtrack of awesome and gets me in, just shift state.
What's on it?
Songs that were probably before you were born that you knew, but things like 80s rock and roll, mostly 70s, 80s rock and roll.
You say 80s rock and roll before I'm born. What are you talking about?
I know. Well, before you
got some Def Leppard on there by chance?
No, I like a lot of Angel. I do a lot of Goo Goo Dolls, but even though that's not an 80s,
yeah.
I know. So
2000, really.
But
they used to be a punk rock band. That's how they got started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they got a great story.
They put the one song on their name, which is still my favorite Goo Goo Dolls song. and they
Mhm.
realize, oh wow, we can go from selling 4,000 albums in Buffalo of punk rock to selling millions of albums of top 40 acoustic driven stuff. We'll go that direction.
They almost quit. That was at the
Yep.
edge of them quitting. Yeah, John Resnick wrote that on his couch in Buffalo while basically looking for a job, and that one took off. So it's a pretty inspiring story for people who
Hmm.
want to persevere. I mean, it really
Yeah.
is because they were ready to throw in the towel, as according to what he told in the concert that we went to right before COVID.
Nice.
And so, but yeah, we're going to see them. And Angie's taking me, and I'm sure she's writing in the chat right now. It's popping
Cool.
up. So, yeah, that's my competition is John Resnick. So,
Nice. That's awesome,
yeah,
dude.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you got something that gets you in that,
Yeah.
in that trigger. Um, and I would imagine just pressing, like, again, now it's gotten to the point where the pressing of that button
hmm
is the trigger, which is what you want. Um,
hmm
so that's awesome. Good stuff there. All right, so now, and let's see, the Rocky song. Um, Gina says the Rocky song. Yeah, the "Eye of the Tiger." That's probably a
hmm
good one. That they played that at the beginning of the road, the big Fort for Fitness. They haven't had it in years because of COVID, but the big they're doing it this year. So I'm going to do the half marathon again.
hmm
Uh, Man, too many people are trying to talk me into doing the full marathon. I'm like, nope. I want to go for time on the half. Like I want to set a record on the half, not go another half. Um Sunfest in April, nice. So, all right, cool. So now that you are focused, how do you stay focused? You're in the zone.
hmm
How do you stay there? And the first thing you need to do, keep your space as distraction free as possible. Like I am talking go scorched earth on distractions. Whatever is distracting you, get rid of it. Janine says her focus trigger used to be the theme for Chariots on a Fire. Oh my gosh.
hmm Yep.
Dun-na-na-na-na. I can just see Eric Liddell going, yeah.
Yep.
Sorry. Speaking of distractions, I just got distracted by Janine's comment there. Um, so whatever, hey, I'm going to just turn the chat off because whatever distractions, whatever the distractions are, you need to get rid of them. That's okay to have distractions right now because this is what I'm doing. There's going to be times where you will want a distraction and there won't be one. So you'll just kind of have to find something productive to do. And after a few months, it gets easy. This is similar to trying to lose weight. If you tell me that Twinkies are your downfall and then that you eat two every night because they are so tempting, I have an easy fix for you. Stop buying them. Stop buying the dadgum Twinkies.
That's
Remove the
it.
temptation. I doubt that if every single night you were going to venture out into a cold, dark evening, start up the car and drive just to get your two Twinkies. Do you know how often I have ever been like
Mhm.
at 9:30 at night? Gosh, you know what I really want right now is Dairy Queen. I've thought that probably
Mhm.
100 times in the last 5 years. You know how many
Mhm.
times I've actually gone to Dairy Queen? Once. One time I said, you know what, this will be one of this is like 2, 3 years ago. I was like, this would be a good opportunity just to surprise the kids. And I took them to freaking Dairy Queen. One time. But if I said, you know what I really want right now is Dairy Queen, and then I had a pint of ice cream in the freezer, you know what I would do? Eat it. You ain't getting
That
out of. You're not going to get dressed or not get dressed. I mean, you're not going naked, but I'm saying, you are not going to put on clothes, get in the car, open the garage door, pull out of the drive. I live 7 minutes from the nearest place that sells junk food. All right, it's not
I
that far, but it's far enough. That's 20 minutes by the time I wait in line. I'm not doing that for freaking ice cream or Twinkies.
There you
So
go.
you lose the desire, and the desire for Twinkies is replaced by a desire to be thin. So again, food, ice cream, Twinkies, whatever, those are distractions from your goal. The same is true with anything. So here's
Mhm.
tip number one: close all the windows you aren't using. And I don't mean your physical windows, I mean on
Mhm.
a computer. If you're using a computer, close all the windows. There's no such thing as multitasking. Multitasking is a myth. Okay, you technically do not multitask. You probably all heard this. You technically micro bounce back and forth between things, and you're not
Mhm.
able to focus on either one of them.
Mhm.
I mean, I know I get distracted sometimes. I'll be listening to an audiobook while doing something mundane like the dishes. All right. In our family, I'm the primary one that does the dishes just because I actually don't mind it. I actually kind of find it cathartic for some weird reason. There are many household chores that I don't do because I don't like doing them. But the dishes are the one thing where I don't know what it is. It's like it's mildly meditative. And I'll be listening to an audiobook and I'll be so focused on what I'm doing, washing a dish. Like, how much brain power does it take to wash a dish?
Hmm.
And I'm like, what did that author say for the last 27 seconds? I have no idea. Back, listen. Oh, yeah, okay. I have no idea. So close all the windows that you aren't using. Secondly, keep those triggers handy.
Hmm.
What are some of your micro triggers? It doesn't have to be like your focus trigger, although that could be. Okay, you're distracted. I'm going to keep those triggers handy so I can stay focused. But if for me, that's why I picked the 10-hour version of
Hmm.
XX intro. Although in a pinch, if I can't access YouTube with the actual 10-hour one, I just go to Spotify and play it and I put it on loop. But the problem that I discovered is when you put it on loop on Spotify, there's the 2 seconds at the beginning of Dead Space and 3 seconds at the end of Dead Space, 5 seconds in a row, versus on the YouTube thing, it actually literally sounds like the song just keeps going and going and going and going. You think 5 seconds, Matt? Really? Are you? Yes, I am that distractible that in 5 seconds I can be like, oh, what was I doing? Oh, yeah. Oh, I need to check Facebook. I need to be in that zone. So, what are some of those micro triggers? Though? Like for me, one of my micro triggers is this exact mug. I only do two things when I'm drinking out of this mug. I'm either live, and right now I've got some Focus tea and some throat coat tea in there because I'm talking for like 4 hours today. But normally I just have the Focus tea in there. And just the simple act of taking a sip of this mug and the taste that I get from it actually is a micro trigger. Um, certain pins, certain pins are focus trigger. I only use these pins. These pins right here. We're actually mailing some to team members. I've got 1,000 of these pens. No exaggeration. They say no product, no problem. One of our courses on them. I only use these pens for two things: planning and client calls, taking notes on client calls. I will not. I don't journal with these pens. I don't write notes around the house. I know this sounds weird. Like I'm like, whoa, Matt, you are way OCD. I'm not. It's just that I know I need to be focused. These are for two things. I don't know whatever it is. Like it could. I don't know. What are those micro triggers that you could have just readily available? We talked about this, but listening to focus music. Find something that works. Find something that works for you. I don't care what it is. You don't have to pick my song. You don't have to pick the Goo Goo Dolls. You don't have to pick, anything. You don't have to pick Chariots of Fire. You just pick something that works for you. So that's how you keep your focus. All right. Now, like I said, the biggest thing is just removing those distractions. You are not going to stay focused if you've got things popping up. Little things like turning off the toast on your email. That's what the little pop up is. If you have notifications enabled on your computer, I get it if you work in an office and that's a culture. But could you find an hour a day where you can turn them off to focus on some deep work? Just an hour. And maybe talk to your boss about it. Like, hey, boss, from 2 to 3 every day, 2 to 3:30, whatever, can we do an experiment where I just turn off all notifications and I work on one thing? And then, oh my gosh, wow, you're the copy, let's say you're a copywriter. The copies that you wrote is so much better, Jim. Wow, Luke, your work is so much better. Hey, so boss, can I do that from 10 to 11 every day and 2 to 3? Yeah, well, heck yeah, you're getting results. Well, hey, look, oh my gosh, wow, we're doing even better. Hey, boss, can I do that from 10 to 11:30 and maybe 1:30 to 3? And you just keep expanding it. I get it if you're in a culture, but if you're an entrepreneur, turn off all notifications. I mean, I don't know who on my team is on this, but I'm going to tell. I'm going to tell my own team this. You know what? I want you to respond quickly to me because when I want something as the boss, I want it now, naturally. But I'm a patient person, not really, but I'll pretend to be patient and I can wait. Here's the deal. If I'm on a call with you and I'm like, here, let me Slack that to you real quick, boom, boom. I'm not expecting you to respond. I'm just like, and I hear, I can't even do the sound. I don't even know the sound that it makes when you send a Slack message. Turn it off. You don't need to know that I Slacked you right now. Slack is asynchronous communication. Email is asynchronous communication. I don't email you or Slack you with an expectation that you're going to respond in real time. If I want real time, I will Slack you and say, we need to jump on a 15-minute call so we can dialogue through things. I don't Slack or email in real time. I Slack and email asynchronously. I Slack and email when it is convenient for me. Why? So that I can go focus on other things. So turn off all notifications, close every window, every app. I know for me, text message is only one person that can get through via text message when I'm in focus mode. And that's my wife. She's not on I will tell her, hey, I'm going into focus mode. And she knows, like, okay, don't text Matt to say, what do you think about this shirt, right now? And that's a few hours a day. I'm not doing that to my wife all day long, but she knows when I'm writing, I need 90 minutes where there's nothing. Now, during those 90 minutes, if she texts me and says, oh my gosh, Araceli left her homework at the house. Is there any way okay, that's different. There's a level of urgent. Actually, no, I'm not bringing her homework. She left at home. She's going to have to pay the consequence. But
the house is on fire.
Yeah.
Get out.
Yeah, exactly. A phone call.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, I got a message from the alarm company. Our alarm's going off. Do you know why that is? Nope. I had my headphones in and I'm way away from the alarm, so I'm not going to hear it. Probably shouldn't have said that, but either way, the cops are on their way. So, hey, can you go turn that off or go check and see if there's an intruder? All right. So the point is to stay focused right now. The reality is we're going to lose focus. I'm in focus mode. I'm writing, and 42 minutes in, I realize I'm cold. I'm cold. Huh. That's interesting. I'm kind of cold. Man, now I'm gonna need to go. Let me go over here. I've got a space heater in my office. Let me go over and bring that over. Okay, where was I? All right. So how do I do that? Right. You're going to have some distractions. You're going to have interruptions. Giovanni's going to come downstairs in the middle of focus time, even though there's a sign on the door. I don't put that sign up very often. Most of the time, I don't care if the kids come down. I could be right now. Our kids aren't here, but they could come down right now. I would not care. I mean, I love it. Come say hi. Most of our clients have met our kids on Zoom. Most of them have met them multiple times. Alan's met them. We've been talking. Giovanni just wanders down here and like, wait, he wants to say hi. I think almost everybody on our team's met Giovanni. Almost everybody on our team's met my dog. Things are going to happen. Some are good, some are bad. Now you need to refocus. What do you do? I got an email from somebody in our audience recently. It said, I'm just starting my business and I work by myself. Many of you can relate to that. Hey, Denise. Let's go. Let's actually answer Denise's question real quick. I'm thinking, and I can't think of a micro trigger, which means that I need to get or create one. Let's go back to that just real quick as I saw her question come in. Again, it's probably something you already use. It's probably something you already do. For me, when I write, it's 95% of the time it's in the morning. I get up and write within 35, 40 minutes of waking up. My focus trigger is the start of that music, but the focus trigger really, if you go back about 7 or 8 minutes, is right before I write. And I'm not writing right now. I'm not writing. There's nothing I'm writing, other than emails right now. So I'm not doing that. But when I am writing, books or whatever, I do a quick workout. It's not like my full workout. I'm not like, oh, I'm, trying to like lose weight or, what. I'm just trying to get my body, up, get my heart rate up, be awake more without all the stressors of caffeine. I do have my cup of coffee that I sip over the course of a few hours. And that cup of coffee, the actual taste and the feel of that coffee in that specific mug is like my micro trigger. I'm not joking. Like literally every sip that I take, I kind of snap back in a little bit. I get a little bit more focused. So I don't know what it is for you, Denise, but it's something that's there.
I'll tell you another easy one is superhero pose. Stand up and just get your body in the superhero state. Mm-hmm. Because when we shift down and we lean down, right? Hands to the side. Hands to
the side. Yeah.
Hands to the side like you're standing up. It's hard to be weak in that state or to feel weak.
Yeah, I mean, it could be that. It could be anything. Like I said, it could just be little micro triggers. It could be taps, a certain song. It could be sometimes. So I have a friend of mine. who actually is a writer. And he said, when I hit like a blank page, I close the app. So he writes in Scrivener, I believe. But whatever it is, it could be Word, it could be Google Docs. He
Mhm.
closes it and then reopens it. And the reopening is the trigger.
Hmm.
And he's like, it works every time. And you may have to do it like 2 or 3 times, but it works every time. So back to what this person said here real quick. I'm just starting out. I work by myself. I know many of you can relate. Sometimes I can go all day focused. Sometimes I can go. Okay, sometimes I can only go for hours. But when I lose my focus, I am done for the day. I cannot get it back. Any suggestions? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Number 1, tell yourself it's okay. Like, this is normal. No one is, the best motivational speakers in the world. Zig Ziglar, Eric Thomas, Tony Robbins, all these super highly productive Elon Musk people. They are not totally motivated, pumped up, and focused 24/7, 365. It is impossible. I don't know what you're going through in life, but if there's something that is causing this relationally or physically or emotionally, then take care of that. Maybe that's the thing. Like if you've lost a friend, take some time to mourn. I mean, a lot of us have had to do that in the last couple of years. It'd be pretty hard pressed to find somebody who doesn't know someone who died in the last 2 years. Really, truth is, in any 2-year period, it's pretty hard pressed to find someone who doesn't know someone who's died. But someone that's close to you, who died, take time to mourn. That's why you're not focused. You're in mourning. I don't want to help you get focused today. You need time. If you're sick, get your rest. You do not have to be on all the time. Consistency is not about going 100% every minute of the day. It's about managing your uptime and your downtime, not turning bad moments into bad days and bad days into bad weeks and bad weeks into bad months into bad years.
Mhm.
Everybody has bad days. Steve Jobs had bad days. The president of the United States, all of them have had bad days. I mean, imagine that job. It's like, Brian Regan, the comedian, talks about, he's
Mhm.
like, imagine having a job where you just wake up every day and it's like problems, problems, more problems. There's always going to be a city in your country as big as this. There's always going to be a city where there's some sort of unrest or some sort of a problem. Some sort of a place is going to have a pipe break that causes a drinking water problem, and it somehow becomes the president of the United States' fault. I don't care what political party you're in. There's always going to be a war somewhere in the world, more than likely and sadly. There's going to be something going on. There's going to be a natural disaster somewhere in the country. Imagine that's your job. Now try to have a bad day. Imagine having the flu and being president of the United States. That would suck.
Mm.
So the point is, tell yourself it's okay. Everybody has them. Do what you need to do to take care of the underlying problem. Maybe it's relational stress. Maybe, I don't know. So it could be a health issue. Take care of your health first. Screw being focused. Go take care of the health problem. I remember specifically, I had Alan. You remember this? About right at the beginning of COVID, actually.
Mhm.
Um, I haven't shared this super publicly, and I'll answer your question in a little bit, Luke. But I was in so much pain. I had a thing called List Launch Challenge. We were doing it
Mhm.
live. If you're interested in growing your list, by the way, evergreen wise, just go to listlaunchchallenge.com and you can get the recordings. But I was doing it live,
Mhm.
and I was in so much pain at one point, um, that I had to. I was doing it like I was doing here, but I was sitting.
Mhm.
But it was hurting so bad I had to lie down. And thankfully, I played like a 5-minute video. It was like I was live like 2 hours a day. And about halfway through, I play a 5-minute video. And I ran upstairs and went to the bathroom. And then I came down and I took my monitor. I had 3 monitors. I took this monitor right here and I put it right here and tilted it all the way down so I could look. I was laying right here on the ground. I took this microphone. I don't think I had this particular boom mic, and I took I had it over here. It's over by my bag now. I took the microphone stand. I put it by my like by my head, and I had the monitor with my notes this way. I had the keyboard over here, and I remember like trying to press, the buttons and stuff to try to. You wouldn't have known because I was just doing slides. But I was in so much pain that when I was done with that, I didn't try to get anything else done that day. That lasted for weeks, and then I went and I got some stuff tested out, and then they were saying that the most likely cause was prostate cancer. Well, that's super fun to
Mhm.
find out. Yeah, I had a really hard time focusing for the next week and a half until I knew that it wasn't that, because I'm thinking I might have freaking prostate cancer, you know?
Mhm.
And then I had surgery, and you know what? I couldn't focus for about 24 hours because I was still high.
Mhm.
I mean, I was loopy from the anesthesia and the pain medication. And then I was loopy for another 3 days because I couldn't sleep. And then finally I was better. And you know what? My focus magically came back after 6 weeks of being completely unfocused. Was it the focus triggers? Was it the song that I was playing? Nope. It's because I wasn't in pain and I wasn't on
Mhm.
pain medication. And I didn't think that I might die soon. So those things are normal. Work through those things, right? Secondly, when you need a lift, get a lift. Man, I'm having a hard time focusing. Then go listen to some Goo Goo Dolls, Alan.
There you
Go
go.
listen to whatever. I sometimes the
Go
focus
biking.
I get distracted, and you know what I need? I need to go outside. I need to go outside. I'm not superhuman. I just need to go outside, go for
Mhm.
a quick walk, see some sunlight, listen to a different song after an hour of the same song on repeat for 2 minutes. I just need a different
Mhm.
song.
Mhm.
And it doesn't have to be a focus song. Well, two of my favorites, actually, probably my biggest favorite is Proud Mary by Ike and Tina. Talk
Oh,
about old
yes.
school.
Mhm.
Uh,
That's old school. I've seen
yeah,
Tina. She's awesome.
Ike and Tina Turner.
Yeah.
When when it talks about we're gonna start off nice and slow, but we don't do nothing nice and slow. We do it nice and hard. And it's
Mhm.
that the beginning is just kind of like this.
Mhm.
mm, It's kind of like that, and then all of a sudden, dun, 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 and it just goes, and I'm like,
Mhm.
I can't help it. I'm gonna dance,
Mhm.
and the energy that I feel, boom, I'm good. My heart rate's up. I got some of that angst out. Maybe I might have been standing there for an hour
Mhm.
and 20 minutes in a row writing and not I'm barely moving. And all of a sudden I just got my heart rate up and moved a bunch in like a 2 minute period of time. Very few songs on earth will make me dance like a crazy person like that song. There's no
That's
improper way to dance to Proud Mary, at least the Ike and Tina version.
that's what our soundtrack awesome. I'll even do some Jackson 5, little ABC, stuff
Mm,
like that. And I mean, because you can't feel bad when you're listening to those songs of your childhood and
yeah.
stuff. So it's really
Yeah.
music's a big way to shift. It is.
So another one, movie clips. Um,
Mhm.
I don't know what it is, but the scene in Gladiator
Mhm.
when Commodus comes down and asks him to remove his mask, and he turns his back on him and turns around and says, "My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North. Servant of the true Emperor Marcus Aurelius." Like, and he keeps going, and he says, "I will have my vengeance in this life or the next." And I'm like, oh, like I want to run through a brick wall. Okay, what
Mhm.
does that have to do with focus? Nothing. I just feel good. It's a dopamine hit.
Mhm.
We talk about the dangers of social media and like dopamine hits and all those things. Yeah, those are dangerous, right? We can't just be like, we can't be like the rat that they used in the experiment that like when he could click the button it would give him an orgasm or eat and he like
Mhm.
some of them would just literally they would essentially orgasm themselves to death, right? Because of the dopamine. They would get so addicted to the dopamine they would die because they wouldn't eat. Okay, we don't want to go to that extreme. But sometimes I need a little healthy dopamine hit, whether it be Ike and Tina, the scene from
Mhm.
Gladiator, little Braveheart.
Mhm.
There's some other movie scenes that I'll watch, and I take 3 minutes to watch YouTube for Pete's sakes,
Mhm.
and I get in a better place, and then I go back to my focus music, I go back to my trigger, and I'm good to go. So if you need a lift, get a lift. If you need a break, get a break. If you need to go, there's poems. Um, what is it? Red Frost Motivation. Google Red Frost Motivation, and I mean that's like their poetry, guys. If there's a poem you need to read. I mean some of their stuff, like some of the stuff by Rumi. The one I was just listening to today, that I just love, the version he does of Rise Up. I mean, it's like chilling. Um, Do Not Go Gentle into That Good Night, Dylan Thomas, one of my favorites. If by Rudyard Kipling, poetry, like just hearing poetry, reading poetry, I don't know what it is, whatever it is for you, go take a break and just take that break, right? Whatever works for you is whatever works for you is what is best for you. I don't have the answer for that one. Don't force it at first. When you feel like, if you feel like you're losing focus, I probably should have said this before I said the last thing. Stop. I've lost focus. Go for a walk. Go watch Gladiator. Go watch Braveheart. Call your spouse. Do anything other than sit and go, oh, I need to focus. I need to focus. I need to focus. That's like saying, I need to not eat that Twinkie. I need to not eat that Twinkie. Not eventually you go eat the Twinkie. This is not the time to go, well, I can't focus on writing. I'm going to go check my email. No. Oh, I'm going to go read the news. Oh, that's a dumb idea. No, just get away. For me, I'm on a computer. I work on a computer. Have you ever thought about that? Just as a side note, could you imagine as a child, I was going to literally my entire, the sustenance, the way I feed my family was going to be through a screen?
Pretty awesome, isn't it?
It's weird to think about. If you really think about it, it's
really
weird.
Pretty awesome.
This is what I do for a living.
And there are no known deaths from working online either that I'm aware of.
Yeah, there could be. I mean, you could argue there are, but
I don't know.
Definitely not as many deaths as like high-rise construction worker.
That's right, or commuting for that matter.
Commuting. I mean, but the point is, that's what I do all day. So checking the news. Again, I said, well, what about watching Braveheart and Gladiator? Okay, a little bit different. First of all, I usually watch them on my phone. I usually go upstairs, grab a drink or a snack while I'm doing it. Things like that. But okay, duly noted. That's why I said that's probably the rare of the two. Usually I'll just go check the mail. Just go check the mail. Gets me outside, and get a little bit of vitamin D on most days. Sometimes I'll just pick up the phone and call somebody. And we don't talk about, I'm not going to call like an affiliate or something like that. I'm going to call somebody and talk about nothing for 5 minutes. Go upstairs and play with the kids. It's usually fun. Go have a tickle fight with the dog.
Yeah.
I mean, if I get unfocused, that's one of the best ways to break it is just go upstairs and chase after him. So he's crazy. Get away from your normal environment. Refine your focus trigger. Okay. All right. So it's been 45 minutes. You got unfocused. You go watch Gladiator. You go outside. You check the mail. You got to redo the focus trigger now. It's been 50 minutes. So I turn the music off. That's the big thing. I've decided to stop. I turn the music off. What I don't want to do is come down the stairs and hear the music. I'm not ready to focus. I've still got to walk all the way over there. I'm not ready to focus till I get over there. Remember, it's kind of weird. It's like psychology, right? I don't rip the Velcro and then check my yardage in golf. I ripped the Velcro in a specific part of the pre-shot routine. So refine that focus trigger. One of the best things you can do on your little break is get hydrated, get fed, whatever. Now, I'm not a weight loss coach like Alan here, but if you're hungry, you're generally hungry. If you're healthy and you're hungry, might be a good time to eat a healthy snack. If you're
hydrate first, then eat.
If you're thirsty, drink. If you're not thirsty, drink anyway.
That's right. Most people eat when they're thirsty.
Water, mildly caffeinated drinks, green tea. I learned, I learned just recently why, and there's some in this, why green tea so much better. It's because green tea not only has the caffeine, but it has naturally occurring L-theanine. I used to use L-theanine as a supplement because it actually binds the caffeine and makes the caffeine takes away a lot of the negative effects of caffeine. And that's why the green tea and caffeine is a completely different caffeine than black tea or coffee. Do not go get a Starbucks double mocha grande latte, blah, 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 blah. That's going to basically give you instant diabetes. Okay. Eat the low glycemic foods. Make sure you eat and drink things that are healthy. Me, it's this with just a little bit of MCT oil because that slows down the absorption of the caffeine. Makes it not like where I'm going to be like "Brrr," for a few minutes and then, it just keeps it going for hours and hours and hours at a low level. Make sure that you eat and drink away from your normal work environment. So, in other words, like I said, get up or walk away. I don't think that sitting there going, I'm going to sip this tea at my computer while checking my email mm, is a good break. Nope, I'm going up. I'm going to do all of these things. I'm going to get hydrated. Uh, Typically, when I'm really, really focused, while I might sip a little bit of water, I don't drink a lot, and I probably low level dehydration. So great. I'm gonna go up and I'm gonna drink like 20 ounces of water with I put a little bit of pink Himalayan sea salt, splash of lemon juice, and a splash of monk fruit to take the edge off the salt. And I down that, and I'm pretty hydrated, like very quickly.
Mhm.
So little things like that, right? But do it away from your work environment. Um, when you walk away, make a list or review your list. So for
Mhm.
me, when I walk away, okay, great, I focus for an hour, I've lost focus, I need to regain it, so I need my little 5-minute break. I take my planner up and I just go through and go, okay, here are my 3 things for today. I've done this and this, um, or I'm halfway through this, okay. And then I just say, okay, what are my next few steps?
Mhm.
What are the next 3 things I need to do as soon as I walk in to accomplish this number 2 task? It's probably not checking your email. It's probably not checking social media. What are they? And you come back and you do those. Remember your purpose. Like I remind myself of my purpose. That's why I'm not advocating for it. I do recommend it, but I'm not necessarily saying you need one. But I use the full focus planner from Michael Hyatt. If you go to mattmcwilliams.com/toolbox, you'll see an affiliate link there for the planners. I recommend trying it out because one of the things that it allows me to do is have my planner right there and constantly refer back to my goals.
Mhm.
And so I remind myself why I'm even in business. Why is finishing this chapter today important? Why is it? Well, because my book's launching January 10th, 2023, and according to my my outline, my edits are due by March 7th. If I don't finish this chapter today, it means I got to do 2 chapters tomorrow, which is going to be really challenging, which means I'm not going to have the edits back in time, and it sets off a chain reaction. And so if you're working a job you don't particularly love, you find it hard to focus, you're daydreaming all the time, uh, remind yourself that, what? This pays for my food, it pays for my home, it pays for my kids going to school, whatever. Um, whatever it might be. If you're in a job that you love and there are aspects that you don't like, I mean, there's aspects I don't enjoy. I've gotten it down to about an hour or two a week that I truly don't enjoy, but I don't enjoy analyzing data. I enjoy, however, analyzing the data and finding out, hey, we had a record month last month as we did. I don't think anybody, Alan, you don't enjoy having to go into PayPal and send money to
Yeah.
affiliate. The active, but you sure enjoy the fact that you had to send affiliate. You sent me a message the other day. You just sent more money to one
Mhm.
partner than you've ever sent to anyone last month. That part's
Yep.
enjoyable.
Yeah.
You know,
Just sent some more this right before getting on the call.
love it. Um,
So,
just a few other things, real quick, guys. Obvious things might be clean your desk. Eliminate clutter.
mhm.
Um, Vacuum. Get things in order. One warning, and this ties in with the seventh thing, which is to rearrange. Sometimes just a little bit of a change of environment
Mhm.
can mix it up. You could put a new picture up, could move your desk a little bit. This sounds like the silliest thing, but if there are, I found that the craziest little thing will help me.
Mhm.
I'll move my monitors. This is actually good for your eyes too. I'll just move them back 2 inches. They're
Mhm.
just enough farther away that it changes the perspective on everything.
Mhm.
If I mean, it's like if I move here, it's just a little bit different for my eyes than right here.
Mhm.
Little things like that. I've got 2 keyboards that I switch between. They're almost exactly the same, but they feel just a little bit different. And I'm not joking. They're just enough different because the command key, it's the weirdest flipping thing. The command key and the option key are switched on the 2 keyboards. I
Mhm.
use a Windows keyboard on a Mac because I like the ergonomic keyboard. And that one little change is, you think it'd be a distraction, but it actually helps me to focus because I have to think about where my thumb's going when I copy and paste. It's the weirdest thing. That little change, I'll just change them up periodically for no other reason than it's just something different, right? Now, don't spend, well, I can't really focus, so I'm gonna do like a friend of mine does, and like I've done before. I'm gonna spend the next 4 hours rearranging my office.
Yeah.
Now it's 15 minutes.
It's like the Admiral, I think it's McRaven.
Yeah.
That making the bed.
Yeah.
That want to change the world. Here's that video too. Somebody wants to see it.
He does not suggest you should spend an hour making your bed.
5 minutes. 5 minutes to change the world. Yeah, he actually wrote a book on it. Making your bed.
Yep. Oh no, it's called Make Your Bed.
Yep.
Yeah, I have a cool story about Admiral Craven, but I don't have time for that right now. When you're taking that break, set a deadline. So come back and say, okay, whatever part it is. So I'm gonna finish. I'm writing. Let's see. I'm planning our content for the month of June, and I got through June 10th. And it took me 45 minutes. When I come back, I've got an hour and 5 minutes. I'm setting a timer. Boom! I've got to do it. Like make a game out of it. And if I hit that hour and 5 minutes, then let's say it's, that puts you at 2:00 and maybe you plan on working till 5, and you have about another 2 hours, then my reward is that from 2 to 3 or whatever the math is I said there, I'm going to go goof off. And you think, well, could I have probably just spent 2 hours doing the content calendar? Sure. I could spend 2 hours doing it kind of halfway, or I could spend an hour and 5-10 minutes like lasered in all out. You can do the same thing in a shorter period of time and then still have, the 45 minutes to goof off. So it's totally up to you, how you do it. But basically, I recommend setting a deadline is where I was going with that. What's next, Alan? What did I say? I have no idea.
Keeping a journal. Keep a journal.
Keep a journal. So I remember years ago when I was in college, we had a trainer named Matt Riley, and I was trying to, at that time, actually, I was trying to gain about 10 pounds. Believe it or not, I was trying to gain about 10 pounds of muscle. And I remember it's like, what do I do? And he's like, keep a journal. Write down everything you eat, everything you do, like how you felt. And he's like, what, supplements you took, everything. Right. And the objective was to identify, okay, if I had, 3 eggs and this for breakfast and my workout was bad, and I did this, and, that week I had this much protein or in fat and versus this, and here's what I gained. And, like how I did my workouts and just all these things, right? Like don't matter what it was, I kept a journal and I would go back and analyze it with him. And the same is true, like keep that journal about, here's my focus trigger and what that did for me and things like that. But see you, Janine. Keep a journal and just document what you're doing. There's my computer just randomly. Now it's restarting. It's the weirdest thing. I'm wondering if it's just going to log me into this on the other thing. We'll have to see. If it does, I'll just shut it. Now it's going to be a minute. So yeah, keep a journal of your experiences, looking back. Like I do this with food now because I'm trying to figure out, like, occasionally I'll have an upset stomach and like, okay, what is it? What is it that causes the upset stomach? And what I found is it's typically, for the longest time, we thought it was wheat, and it's actually not really, it's not wheat, that does it. It's that, when I think about when do I personally, because I don't really eat sandwiches and I don't eat buns, when do I eat wheat? I eat wheat with pizza. And it's actually dairy. Because that's about the only time I really eat dairy either.
What you measure is dairy.
I'm not lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
I'm lactose sensitive. And so I wouldn't have known that if I didn't literally go back and okay, what was this? And I was like, well, I didn't have an upset stomach then. I ate wheat then. I didn't have an upset stomach. I had ice cream and my stomach was upset. Oh, well, that's not wheat, so finally kind of made the connection. So yeah, keep a journal.
Next one is how to handle distractions. Now you regain your focus, and you got to witness it, just finding a way. They got to witness it, didn't they?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you, Alan. What was that?
I was saying the next one is how to handle distractions and how to regain your focus. Which they just got to witness.
You got to what?
They just got to witness how you handle distractions. You found a way. You found a way. Yeah.
Yeah. How do you guys handle distractions? How do you regain your focus? So love to hear in the chat. I do want to address real quick Luke's question or Luke's comment there. I'm a solopreneur at the moment. So finding the balance between family and work is a daily exercise. I'm a single father with a day job. Goal is to go full-time entrepreneur. Man, you're a hero, dude. I mean, just like other single dads and single moms and, any of that stuff. Balance is hard, especially, like you said, you have a day job, too, in addition to being a father. So, Luke, just keep at it. Your thing is to find those pockets of time where, an hour or two here, you got to go all in with the focus. I can get away with being distracted for an hour. I can get away with going up. It's easier for me to say, I can go up and play with the dog for 45 minutes, and just decide I'm not going to work for 45 minutes. The consequences for me are existent. Don't get me wrong. That means I'm going to have to probably do something later, but I can get away with that. And just to be totally transparent, you can't. And so you've just got to kind of really be all in focused when you are focused. Shorter bursts. My recommendation, a lot of people are like, oh, I just want to work at night. Might want to put in 45 minutes in the morning. That might be my recommendation there is, put in 45 minutes in the morning, and then put in some time at night. So you're not always giving your day job, your best. Mark Sieverkrop used to be on our team. Many of you remember him. I used to love, he would tell me, he would text me at noon my time, which would be 9 a.m. his time, before he worked for us. And he would work on his business in the morning. And then he would say, I'm going to my second job now. Most people would call it the other way around. Mm-hmm. And he would say, I'm going to my second job. And just that mindset shift of no, I'm going to put my best time, my best mind, my best brain power into my dream. And then I'm going to give my second job the rest of it, All right. I hope this episode gave you some stuff that you can put to use to help you get focused, stay focused, and bounce back again when those inevitable distractions hit. So whether you're managing a team, you're running a big affiliate program, you're running a launch, maybe you're just trying to survive a busy week. I've got one of those this week. I've got a short week because of a soccer tournament coming up. And so I've got to stay focused. For the 3.5 days that I can actually work, I have got to stay focused. I am using what I taught in this episode to really to get focused, to stay focused. And, when it does, I'm still going to lose it, to bounce back and recover and get back on track. So these tips can really move the needle on this. So I hope they help you. If you've got a question, you got a takeaway, you just want to share something this episode maybe made you think about, I would love to hear from you. You can shoot me a quick text at 260-217-4619. Again, 260-217-4619. I personally read every single text that I get. I love hearing what's working for you. So maybe if you've got an idea, if I get enough ideas, I'll turn it into another episode. If I get enough things maybe you're struggling with, maybe there's something in this episode that wasn't enough and you want more elaboration, I can easily record another episode. So let me know what you'd like me to cover in future episodes or just questions you have. And lastly, make sure you hit subscribe so you don't miss what's coming up next. I've got some good ones, and I will see you then. Thank you so much for listening today. If you know someone who would benefit from hearing this episode, make sure to share it with them. And if you have a question, you can ask it at asktheaffiliateguy.com. Questions make my best episode, and it's a great way to get featured right here on the podcast. And if you're loving what you're hearing, please take a moment to leave a rating and review. That helps others find this content so we can all benefit from it. See you soon.